40+ million gallons conservatively of dispersant on it that sent it underwater so it wouldn't float, and they are involved in a huge cover-up of what's really happening, and there's fissures all over the Gulf. That's been confirmed by every major university down there that's gone out there and researched it. It is still ongoing, and they're just telling the public that the problem is solved.
That's correct. In 40 days, that would have flowed 2 billion gallons at 2 million gallons per hour. I mean, 2 billion gallons is what the reserve of that should have been.
Well, BP estimates that the well is still 98% full and that there's 2 billion in it. But nobody really knows, and I appreciate your call. Very interesting points, Daniel. Zach in Toronto, Canada. You're on the air, Zach.
Hi, Alex. How are you today?
Good, sir.
I just wanted to give you my 2 cents from up in Toronto anyway on what I thought of the mosque near Ground Zero. And that is basically we're not even sure if it was Muslims that did this crime, so I don't understand. It seems like you said to a setup to me where they're just sort of trying to bait an issue, whereas if it was, a synagogue or a church, there'd be no problem whatsoever, and we're still not even sure if the people who perpetrated these crimes, we don't know what religion they're from.
Well, this particular group is the smallest sect of Islam. 80% roughly are, of course, the original Saudi Arabian based, and then about 19% are Shiite, and that's based in and around Iran, but it's global. 1% is made up of several other groups, and this group is the smallest subsect. I mean, the best way to describe it's kind of New Agey, but it's very old, but it's more mystic. And so that's the point that's been made, is this is like an offshoot, really kind of liberal Islam. And, this is cheap property. It is pretty far away. And that's what they keep pointing out. Hey, this thing is 2 city blocks away. I mean, that's far away. And why are we worried about this when Elena Kagan is an anti-American globalist who's openly anti-free speech, anti-Second Amendment, and they're about to start World War III with Iran? I mean, we've got bigger fish to fry than obsessing over this. So it is much ado about nothing. And it's going to, if they're successful, hurt property rights and the First Amendment. But again, a lot of people think that Muslims did carry out 9/11, even though the official story is clearly a fable and was used as a pretext to invade those countries. And so they're taking it as a big slap in the face. So if Nancy Pelosi wants to ask who's hyping this, the mainstream media that loves to divide and conquer. I mean, Nancy Pelosi, when she issues race baiting or says if you don't like government-run health care, you're a racist, she's invoking divide and conquer for political power. So she knows full well what some of the Republicans are doing. But you heard Ron Paul last hour. I mean, he basically agrees with me about what's happening here.
Well, exactly. That's just sort of, all I had to say on that issue. But just wanted to throw that out there that, it's definitely something staged because they're not really...
it's a tar baby.
It's a total distraction.
Yes, it's a tar baby. From the Depression, exactly. From the wars they're getting ready for everything that's happening. I appreciate your call. I mean, really, does this mosque matter? I mean, why aren't the Republicans, if they're so scared of Muslims, talking about reducing illegal and legal immigration? I mean, if that's supposedly the issue, that Muslims are so horrible, why not limit their numbers? See, no, they want more, so they can then have a bigger fight in this country. Let's go ahead and talk to Chris in Wisconsin. Chris, you're on the air.
Hey, Alex. First time I'm calling.
Welcome.
And hey, I tend to agree with you pretty much on this issue. I think given that we need a foothold or something to give us entry into wars in the Middle East.
Yeah, it's a way to re-invoke 9/11 and look, the Muslims are in our territory. Look, they're dissing us.
Right. It's I guess again what you said. It's divide and conquer. It gives us a reason to be over there, and I think it's contrived to begin with. And then I guess my second point would be, yeah, I do believe that this is just a distraction issue. It's a non-issue. It's just a way to get people to choose a side and divide the American public. And I'd much rather preserve the Bill of Rights than to take a side on the issue.
Well said, my friend. I appreciate your call. Anything else? All right, we're going to go to break. I'm going to hit on some economic news. Then our guest is coming on for about 20 minutes. Then I will continue with calls at the end of this hour, right through the third hour interspersed with news. And speaking of illegal immigration, record numbers of Border Patrol are committing suicide. The Associated Press reported yesterday, and I didn't even get to this, I got to dig it out of the stack, I should have gotten to it, that the Border Patrol is pulling out of many areas of Arizona saying it's too dangerous. So Obama said he would legalize the illegals by executive fiat. They're doing it. And this is another act of treason. We'll be right back.
Is your debt problem a ticking time bomb? Thanks to a new financial consumer relief program designed in response to the economic crisis facing millions of Americans, you don't have to wait until it's too late to defuse your debt. If you owe $10,000 or more in credit card bills and are struggling to make minimum payments, get ready to take down this number for free information that could potentially save your home, the lifestyle you're accustomed to, and your family's financial well-being. But don't wait. Studies show that if most debt problems are confronted directly, beneficial settlements, manageable monthly payments, and quick restoration of credit are more easily attained, potentially saving you thousands of dollars in interest charges, fees, and unpaid debt. Don't procrastinate. Call now for your free information and begin putting your economic house in order today. To qualify for this program, you must have $10,000 in credit card debt. Call the American Debt Associates at 800-876-2966. 800-876-2966. Again, 800-876-2966.
Let me tell you a little bit about one of our great sponsors, HomeGain.com. This is the place to get you started buying or selling a home, finding a realtor, and getting any real estate questions answered. Go to HomeGain.com and see what I'm talking about. All you need to do is type in your home address, and you will get an instant free estimate of your home's value online. This is a great way to be able to monitor the value of your home. And again, it's absolutely free. There are tons of tools to help you. For instance, if you want to remodel your home, go to HomeGain.com. Use their Home Sale Maximizer to help you determine which home improvements can most increase your home's value before you put it on the market. For 10 years, these folks have been helping home sellers and buyers. Visit their link at Infowars.com. Look for Max, the orange Home Gain Gorilla, to help you with any real estate needs you might have. You'll love this site. It's HomeGain.com. HomeGain.com. Check them out today.
As many people know, ever since President Nixon took us off the gold standard, the U.S. dollar has been devaluating. What people don't know, however, is how this directly affects your personal finances. Is there a way to prevent your portfolios from losing value? The answer to all of this is gold and silver. They've both maintained their purchasing power for 6,000 years. If you had had $100,000 in cash and $100,000 in gold and silver back in 1913 and kept them both until now, your cash would actually have the buying power of only $4,800, but your gold and silver would have the buying power of $3 million. The answer to protecting your assets is simple. Call me, John Ballman, today at 1-800-686-2237, extension 169. Get all your questions answered before your money is worth zero. Call 1-800-686-2237, extension 169. Take action today while we still accept paper dollars for gold. That's 1-800-686-2237, extension 169.
When you hear the words water purification, what comes to mind? If it's Berkey Water Purification Systems, this message is for you. Did you know that over 60% of municipal water contains fluoride at less than 2 cents per gallon? Berkey water filters purify treated and untreated water, remove dangerous chlorine, fluoride, and contaminants from municipal water. These filters are powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water, making them perfect for rainwater collection systems. From the smallest to the largest systems, BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com has what you need. With your system purchase, you'll receive a shower filter, a fluoride filter, or 2 sport Berkey bottles absolutely free. BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com would like to offer GCN listeners 5% off all ceramic filter systems and ship all orders over $50 free of charge. Visit BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. Or call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY today.
We will not be forgotten. We won't be left behind. Our memories live on in mortal mind. And poets we'll ride again.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back live here. And I was just a little bit late getting back because I was looking at the gold numbers. Gold is up $5.25 $1.70 from yesterday. It's up almost $50 in the last week. It's at $1,230.40, back up to the levels it was a few months ago. We've got a guest coming up to deal with the border situation and the police state with some key intel and some success he's had in the next segment, and we'll continue with your calls. But I wanted to briefly bring Ted Anderson, the owner of the Genesis Communications Radio Network, on. He's also the owner of Midas Resources, and he's got the best deals in gold and silver out there. I challenge you with these radio specials we're about to offer to go try to find a lower price on sovereigns, on francs, and some of the other coins, the silver, the junk silver. Ted bought this when gold went down by $50. And he's not raising his price like everybody else does. He's selling it to you at the old price. So you cannot beat these deals. These only come up sometimes a few times a year, sometimes once a month. But we're going into the fall, and historically it's only going to go up, especially with all the dollar devaluation going on, all the monetization of debt. It's time to move out of paper. And this radio special, you can call, tell the brokers it's a radio special, and take advantage of it. Ted, give folks today's offer and tell us how long you can offer this, because I know you're getting a lot of calls and a lot of orders. When are you going to run out of the gold and silver you bought at the lower price?
Well, I mean, for starters, the market is turning back into a flash again, where people are starting to buy like crazy. I mean, June and July, things were deader than a doornail. You could hear a pin drop around here. But now, all of a sudden, it's just like somebody threw a spark back on the fire. Right now, that franc is at $265. That is the same price I offered it yesterday, and also back when gold was at $1,180 here just last week. And then the British sovereign was at $333.86. And like you say, Alex, I mean, I don't come up very often, but when the market is starting to heat up like this, we do need to talk about gold. Debt to GDP right now is going to exceed 93% this year. That means 93% of what we produce is going to be consumed by our debt. And that's just a number you can't keep on working with. And so we're going to see a devaluation of the currency due to the fact that the government's going to have to print money in order to cover obligations, because we're not producing enough to pay taxes to cover those obligations. So that's what's going to happen. That's what I predict for the future, and I know just about everybody else's too. But the francs right now at 265, the British sovereigns right now at 333.86. The walking Liberty halves at 975. All that stuff looks really good right now. And like you said, we're sitting here in August. September, October, November are always better months for gold and silver. It just happens to work out that way. June and July are always the soft time. And we're just coming out of that time where everything is softened up. Now we've seen $1,233 an ounce already as a high today. And it's not surprising to me that it's happening. It's happening like if, you have a good, solid Swiss watch that never loses time. That's what the gold and silver market is doing right now. It's acting just like it normally does. We're about ready to head into the fall, and that's when the market does its best, and I expect it to be the same this year. With the Hindenburg thing that they're talking about last week, and the stock market.
Yeah, the Hindenburg omen, in almost every case, you have a massive stock market plunge within 45 days of the Hindenburg omen.
Yeah, see, I mean, that's just one of those indicators that are out there. I was reading the Aiden Sisters this morning, another newsletter. I really like Bob Chapman's newsletter, too. I read that just earlier as well. That you get that free with that franc at $265. That's a $159 subscription. You can't hardly beat that. But I just need to tell people, if you've been thinking about gold, if you're invested in the stock market, have money in the bank, annuities, I mean, you name it. There's just a long list of investments that are going to get hurt when we have inflation here in the United States.
Well, Ted, I give people advice that I follow. Be self-sufficient. Second Amendment, storable foods, gold, silver. I've been buying gold since it was $260 an ounce 8 years ago, and I never sold, even when it hit its high, and it's testing that high again, because it's an emergency backup for my family and my operation. And whether it's one coin or 10 coins or 100 silver coins or one silver coin, no order is too small, no order is too big, except I know time and time again, when you buy when it's low and sell it when it's high at the low price, you run out, and you're saying your supplies won't last long. So people need to give Midas Resources a call. It's 800-686-2237, 800-686-2237, and the brokers will be there into the evening. Ted, how long can you hold this deal?
Well, we're going to hold